Now, some very exciting news if you have a child in your family who has a story to tell. The country's biggest short story competition, 500 Words, is back.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to Conway Primary School in Sparkbrook in Birmingham, where normally at this time of the morning it would be really nice and quiet here in the school hall, but not today. Good morning, everybody. I said good morning, everybody. I told you it wasn't quiet. We are here because it's World Book Day. Kids across the country are getting ready, getting dressed up, but you guys are dressed up already and you look amazing. Do you want to tell me, some of you, who you're dressed as? Who are you?
Anna.
Anna from Frozen. You got Olaf. Wave Olaf at the camera. Morning. You are?
Snow White.
Snow White. And what have you got in your hand?
Poison apple.
You're not going to poison me, are you?
No.
Who have we got here?
Hermione.
Hermione from Harry Potter. We've got lots of Harry Potters, haven't we, here this morning? Little Red Riding Hood, Violet Beauregard. They're all here and they all look brilliant. They're here because it's World Book Day, the perfect day to relaunch 500 Words, the children's story writing competition on the BBC. And I've been to a school on Merseyside with a rather special judge and author.
If you just sit down and start, the magic happens.
So I decided to write a story called Bella's Adventure.
Ideas like other ideas.
I got one of the chocolate eggs and I threw it out the window.
So if you just sit down and start writing, I promise you ideas will come.
There's a character named Brussel the Russell. Every time the song Mr. Postman came on, you'd have to write a letter.
On my first day at school, do you know what I did? I kicked a nun. Okay, so what I want to think about is,
as stories go, it's quite an opening, but that's hardly surprising.
Exterminate, exterminate. You made a mate. That's a really happy
Because
thing.
today's supply teacher is top children's author and 500 Words judge, Frank Cottrell Boyce.
And everyone was going, Lorraine, Lorraine, her name's Lorraine. And all these faces were looking up at me.
He's come to St Elizabeth's in Litherland to give a story writing masterclass.
Everyone's got a story. Everyone can tell a story. We just talked today about, what important days in your life, and every single one of them had a different story. Any genre that you want, or as personal as you want, anything at all, as long as it's got you in it. I'd like you to.
He tells the kids to let their imaginations run wild for 500 Words. Witches, wizards, anything.
I'm thinking of making a story about an astronaut who really likes spaceships. Because when he was younger, he got to ride one for the first time.
We are live at Hampton Court for the 500 Words final! With a brilliant cover of Crazy Love.
It was the brainchild of Chris Evans. And more than 1 million stories were submitted in the first decade of the competition.
She is the 500 Words fairy godmother who brings a certain sparkle to the competition and gets us in great places like this, to be honest.
As Duchess of Cornwall, Camilla was an honorary judge on 500 Words. And now, as Queen Consort, she's supporting the competition again as it returns to the BBC.
The joy is that it's about to be relaunched. You have this wonderful moment when you took them, to the venue, the sort of surprise venue for the finals. Pride, in these children's faces and families at the schools.
The gold winning story, Snow Blood Window Frame by Eve Malloy.
I couldn't believe it. I thought they were joking. And I was like, oh my God, me!
4 years on, Eve tells me she's still in shock. Her fairy tale won hundreds of books for herself and for her school. But there was an even greater prize.
My confidence, it just went through the roof. Being in 500 Words was the best thing that I've ever done.
Eve went to a very small primary school in a village in Lancashire. Not a big posh school, not a rich school. In fact, when she won the books, it was like the first new books they'd had in their library for quite a long time. So it's not about where you go, it's not about what school you go to, it's about you're the child. It's about, do you have it in you to have a really good story?
I will call her Snowblood Window Frame, or Snowy for short. My grades, even now, they're not the best, but I did it and I won. Somebody who is not amazing at every single thing I put my mind to, because I do have challenges that I face in school. I won it. I won something.
Before any stories are written, 4,000 volunteer judges have to be recruited. Teachers, teaching assistants, and librarians like Sarah, who did it last time and who's signing up again.
The last 4 years have been really challenging for children. We know that children's mental health has been affected, their well-being has suffered, and so I think this will be an opportunity to really see whether, when those 500-word stories come in, will children be expressing their feelings about the last 3 years?
I felt happy and smelled cookies, but I was sad that my elf left.
A little cute rainbow teddy bear.
Have you missed this competition the last couple of years?
I have missed it so much.
Really?
Because the judging was like, the judging was the social highlight of my year. It was. It's humbling, you know. I can think of stories that I judged maybe 10 years ago that I still remember and think, God, I hope that kid's forgotten it, because I would like to use that story.
But at the end, he says you shouldn't judge people by what they like and stuff.
You've got loads of ideas already. We shouldn't share this too much. We don't want people to copy it, do we?
No.
Yeah. This time, the competition is just for primary school children. And stories don't have to be submitted until the autumn, with the winners announced on World Book Day next March.
Words can be magic. You know, if you choose the right word, you can make people laugh, you can make people cry, you can start a fight, you can finish a fight, you can make people think if you just choose the right word. Thank you so much.